Hi everyone, my name is Jaclyn Masters. I am an attorney living in Houston, Texas. So I really enjoy reading Australian women writers particularly, and I think a lot of the experiences that are spoken about and just the style and the diversity of perspectives and content really appeal to me. And I think there's something about reading about women's experiences in different parts of the country, from different backgrounds, from different walks of life. There's just something that really interests me and makes me want to learn more, and I think there's just something that brings me a lot of sense of connection when I'm reading about the different experiences women have had living in Australia. So I remember following the Stella Prize a couple of years ago in the sense that I would walk into bookstores and see the Stella Prize stickers from winning titles or shortlisted titles on the covers of books. And I'd often be drawn to them for that reason. When I read a couple and started enjoying them, I remember kind of seeking those titles out. But it wasn't until I moved to Houston that I really started following the prize as avidly as I do now. I had read The Strays by Emily Bitto, and it actually came really highly recommended by the Reading Women podcast, which is a US-based podcast that talks about international titles by women writers. And I had this amazing Australian book recommended to me by these two American readers, and I just thought that was brilliant. And it sort of set me off on this quest about what other books I was missing out on that I hadn't maybe come across organically. So I found the Stella Prize a really easy way to start finding titles by women that I wouldn't necessarily have come across on my own. So books that either I just hadn't seen on bookshelves, or hadn't heard my friends talking about, or hadn't read about in professional reviews. So I really think it's a great entry point into finding, I guess, starting points and new authors you can discover. And it's a great prize that I recommend to international readers a lot, because a lot of the backlisted Stella titles get published in the US or overseas, and they're a lot more readily available for international readers. So it's a really great point to recommend books in that way. So I first became involved with the Reading Women in an interview about audiobooks that I read not long after I moved to Houston. And then last year I joined the team as a contributor, and this year I became one of the co-hosts alongside Sachi and Simaya, and of course Kendra, the executive director. So we have themed podcasts every month, and I do 3 of those months every year. And as well as that, we have a year-long reading challenge. And the reading challenge is really designed to coincide with some of the reading themes that we have on the podcast, but also to just get people being more conscious about their reading and thinking about which authors they're turning to and what kind of books they're reading. So it's sort of like a gentle nudge to be a bit more adventurous with your reading. So I really love that. And this year, one of the prompts is to read a previous winner of the Stella Prize. So I was really keen to include a prompt that showcased Australian literature. I think I was really lucky that I joined the Reading Women team and they were already on board with promoting Australian literature. I remember one of the first interviews I listened to was with Emily Bitto, who wrote The Strays. So I feel like the Reading Women podcast was already doing a lot for Australian literature before I joined, but it's certainly been something that I've really tried to bring to the team, my passion and interest for Australian literature, particularly by Australian women writers. So a lot of the backlisted Stella winners have made it over to the US and the UK and other international markets for publications. So a lot of those titles people have been picking up as part of the reading challenge this year. So that's been really wonderful to see.